Hey everybody, it's the Coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be an intriguing matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, it's dreary and miserable throughout much of the Midwest, but we've got football to perk up our spirits. That's the good news. At Paul Brown Stadium, that's where we're at here in Cincinnati. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. The wait is finally over. Brandon Godden, Charles Davis here on the start of a new NFL season, and we kick it off with a bang on Thursday night.
What's interesting about these Thursday night games is oftentimes we hear people say, is it really fair for players to play on Thursday night? But what did we hear from both of these teams going into this one? How excited they were to have the spotlight on their teams, their franchises, the rest of the league watching them go at it.
With fall around the corner, football is back, America, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Spinning away. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
And what I'm looking for from him today, the things every quarterback is looking to do. Lead his team to a victory. Doesn't matter whether he's throwing it, running it, handing it off, however he has to do it, as well as exhibiting some leadership, that's what he's trying to accomplish.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, a 22. He'll look to throw. And that's complete. It's Green here. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in secondary.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. He finds his running back, Mixon. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there.
Well, he's looking sharp right from the get-go here. Tough division. They needed this kind of a start. But I think this is part of where scripting comes in. We always hear about the scripting of plays, how they're going to be called. Everyone dress rehearses their script, and right now they're following it to a T.
And for that opening drive, so part of the script still to come, right, partner?
Yeah, no doubt about it. We've got a ways to go with that. But you can tell that they worked on the script the entire week in practice, and it's paying off for them. Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Here's 2nd and 8. And a little floater there is incomplete. He was looking for Joe Mixon there out of the backfield. But now it's 3rd down. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Back to throw here. And the catch good. It's Eifert. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again.
Brandon, lest my eyes deceive me, I think they found a matchup that they're trying to exploit here, don't you? I mean, it's the 2nd time they've gone to him here on this drive.
Yeah, opening drive. It's a tone setter, right? I think they're going to be looking his way a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the way things are going right now, they like him as a featured receiver. Let's see what kind of adjustments the defense is going to make to try and take that away.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Switch gears. Let's go.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. Play number 9 now on this pretty long opening drive. But this is 3rd down. The quick slant caught. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal. So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. Mixon trying to punch it in, and he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Taking it in from 2 yards out, and they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Excellent start there. First drive of the season, big-time success, putting it in the end zone.
And remember, that was done without any real map of how to do it. In other words, the deeper you get into the season, you get game film to work off of, tendencies to work off of. The first drive of the season, things can be entirely different than what you've seen in the past. It's a really good job of execution by them.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. Leading them out is the Austin, Texas native at quarterback. It's Baker Mayfield. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. First carry now for Gus Edwards. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. On the draw is Edwards. And that is not going to get it done either. Once again, he's stopped behind the line by this Bengals D. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carl Lawson coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Bengals will take over in terrific field position. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Green brings it in. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. A.J. Green, 32 yards. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his RAC, right? R-A-C?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And the Browns getting set to go. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Mayfield setting up the screen here to Edwards. Give him 6 there, but now it's 3rd.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. From the gun, Mayfield. That's into the hands of Edwards. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football. They are, however, facing a fourth down situation. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. Oh, nice spin.
Oh, that brought back bad memories.
Oh, and now he bowls him over. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Bengals will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. All right, here now a look at A.J. Green. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that, too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise he can really decimate him.
Better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability. Shreds the tackle. Sheds another. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 15 yards on the play. First down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
And he's got rope. Tyler Boyd. He's going to go. The 20, 10, and all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Tyler Boyd, 60 yards. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. Now Bullock to add the extra point.
How about that touchdown, partner? If you blinked, you probably missed it. I looked away for just a second, and they were in the end zone.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This is taken at his 4. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
That hurt. First down, roughing, it is a first.
And just think about the differences between the two. Running into the kicker almost feels inadvertent, just a small tap, so to speak. But when you rough him, here's your bodies are hitting the ground and flying all different places. And the difference is 5 yards or 15. And in this case, that's a big play.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
On second and 11 now. Mayfield, he's got Njoku, his big tight end. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. The Browns on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7. Going to the air again with Mayfield. He'll get this to Edwards out of the backfield.
Usually the offense has an answer to anything a defense throws at them, including a safety valve. And that's what they did on that play. They went there, but the defense still made an excellent play and held them to no gain.
A reminder coming up at halftime, it's the season debut of the coach, Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, as we look ahead to all the action coming up this opening weekend. And of course, we'll also take a look back at this first half.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
So not just running into the punter, but roughing the punter.
And I'm struggling with this one. You know, you're watching it, partner. Is it more the first rather than the latter? This is a tough one. Almost feels like he felt like he had to call it on that play.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 44 yards. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows. And he's going to go down. This will count as a sack, a very short sack. Taken down at the 2. Shane Ray able to take him down. It's a loss of 3. On second and goal. Mayfield to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
It's been my observation. There's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tip. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. From 3 yards out, as they are now on the board here in the first half. That seemed like a much-needed touchdown after 21 unanswered points to start the game.
It's not often that you equate a football game to a golf tournament, but it's like you don't want to shoot yourself out of the tournament too early. So they needed that touchdown to make sure that they got an opportunity to not just get back into this game, but a chance to win it later if they continue to play well.
Oh, look at that. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, they're really...
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. A.J. Green. Already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
Looking to throw again on second down. Mayfield. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Mayfield looks to throw, and that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on second and 10. Here's Mayfield, and he's got the hook up to Landry. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. The Browns will quickly use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Mayfield with it once more. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
And that's a crusher right there. Had his man open for a first down. Threw a fastball when that wasn't necessary. Incomplete pass. When are these quarterbacks going to learn? You don't get extra points for how hard you throw the football.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we have reached halftime here in the Thursday night opener. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, good to get another season underway. We'll get back to you guys for the second half of the season opener. But first, let's take a look at what's still to come here in the opening weekend of the NFL season. In the 1 o'clock games, one that immediately catches the eye is in our nation's capital. A big test for the Redskins as they'll take on the visiting Baltimore Ravens. Excellent games in the late afternoon window as well. One being out in Los Angeles, where it'll be the Rams taking on the Atlanta Falcons. And finally, a good one on Sunday Night Football between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race, very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Mayfield now. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carl Lawson, his 2nd sack of the night.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 47. Edwards now on 1st and 10. Man, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Mayfield on play action. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Here's A.J. Green as he gets set to go again on offense. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And now the throw hauled in by Green. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he goes down, but not before getting his inside the 25. That one good for 26 and a first down. Back in the first quarter, you said it, they need to avoid the big play, but he just got a big one right there.
You can't relax. You know, we talked about in the first quarter, but as the game progresses, still opportunities, and he took advantage of one there.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. That catch, by the way, kind of noteworthy. It's number 764 in his career. Ties him with Hall of Famer James Lofton.
And he's done it just as James Lofton did in his career. Smooth.
They'll give it to Mixon. And he goes his way into the end zone for a Bengal touchdown. Joe Mixon, already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those two TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Browns drive about to get started. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
180! Alert, alert! Alert, alert!
On 2nd and 12, Mayfield. That's taken in by Callaway. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. You're willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
He's got his tight end, David Njoku. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll throw again. Here's Mayfield. Steps away to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Preston Brown able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now Mayfield lost the football, but fortunately he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there, but how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 35.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Pushing through tacklers at the 30. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They'll try a little trickery here on the end around. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Jet sweep, Boyd with it. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. I think all teams probably like seeing that schedule for the first time, looking at week 1. Oh, good, we're at home. This is why you want to be home in week 1. They're looking sharp.
And I agree with you totally. That's what you want. But there carries a little extra pressure with that as well, because you and I both know protecting the home field, winning your home games is paramount in this league. So you go into it, yeah, we want it, but now you actually have to go out and prove it.
Yeah, 2 sides to that coin, and looking like they're going to protect it here in this one. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. First down, Mayfield. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good play there as the Browns strike for 16 and a first down. Mayfield on first down. Throw left side complete. It's Edwards. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Throwing again on 2nd down. Mayfield looking for the out route. It's completed to Landry. Mayfield brings him up 1st and 10. And he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. And again, it's Mayfield. Checks this down to Edwards out of the backfield. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Well, my friend, for the players, it's good for them to get that first game under their belts. For you and I, that first Thursday night game, also good for us to get that under our belts, wasn't it?
It was no longer preseason. We were into the regular season, the first game of the year. And, you know, all eyes were watching this when everyone was excited that football was back.
And it's just special. You could just feel it. It's so good to have the pigskin back out there. It'll be crisp fall weather before we know it.
You got that right, but I love the build-up to it, right? All day long anticipating it, and then we got here and we saw a game, the first game of the year. Let's keep going.
So for the Bengals, They begin the new campaign with a victory here in front of the home crowd in the Thursday opener. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face Cincinnati next week. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Nashville. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.